Chapter 15. Panic! The streets of Dragon's Teeth did not take long to fill with horrified citizens. Coming up from the dirt road in the old West-style town, on the outskirts, was the 3-story tall, twisted aberration of rotting flesh and steel infrastructure. Moving slowly and awkwardly, like a steampunk zombie centipede, the further it came into the town, the darker the lights grew. As it started to make its way down through the thoroughfare, amber, iridescent lamps exploded. The terrified townsfolk could barely see any detail of the monstrosity of death. Jacob Blake Understout ran outside with his shotgun, staring out in horror at the record as it scraped and slithered, crushing the ground underneath it as the monster terrifyingly waddled down the main street. Women, children, everyone could be seen running, screaming. Dr. Georgia Golightly was outside then, urging everyone to calm down, stay indoors. The constable would take care of it. A tendril snaked out, wrapping around her leg, yanking her so hard that her face slammed into the ground before she was mercilessly dragged into the cacophonous shrieking and scraping of the blob of metal and rancid cadavers. The time agent and the rhinoceros ran to meet the beast head-on. Bro recognized that it was almost identical to the record that he had fought on the Miracle Planet, alongside Sully and the Man in Red, except this had more dead animals, and the metal seemed to be more Old Western, more antique. Saber's eyes turned a chrome silver, and she uttered a quantum spell which unlocked her temporal katana. Suddenly, there were 1,000 slashes to the beast from her weapon, for every strike or stab. 1,000 similar cuts were landed upon the record from her quantum sword. It was clearly weakening. The record was reaching out in desperation. Brianna was running toward the abomination in some foolish attempt to perhaps find her father or save him. She watched the 2-headed hotel and bar owner, J.B., as he was violently snatched and sucked into the heart of the grinding, gnawing, slithering, slippery mass of death. She could not save her father. Brianna was stopped short by a single hand, a grip as strong as steel. It belonged to the strange inspector in green, whom had arrived earlier. He was staring out at the record as Saber and Bro fought it. The entire town, a mad flurry of chaos surrounding them. The stranger in the emerald suit simply would not let her go. "I have to!" "No," the man in green uttered. The young woman in the neon pink sleeping gown determinedly withdrew a nightstick and slammed it down on the man's knuckles. They should have shattered. Professor Green didn't even seem to notice. He continued to stare at the lumbering beast, holding her back from it. Brianna activated the taser function of her nightstick and stabbed under Professor Green's neck, into his jugular with countless volts. No results. This got his attention, but did not hurt him. He turned to gaze at Brianna, snatching the nightstick and tossing it away. "Are you a cyborg? What the hell are you?" "What I am," Traveler replied, "is worried." His eyes then suddenly exploded outward in a powerful jade energy. It nearly blinded her. "Worried for you and this town." Professor Green noticed that more of the townsfolk were being absorbed. Brianna again tried to struggle against him. The stranger in the Viridian suit then growled a single word. "Stop!" The sound, the vibration, the echo of the word took on a life of its own, bouncing off the atmosphere and turning into thunder. It became a quantum resonance, something heard in your very molecules. The word "stop" dug into the consciousness of everything that lived. Every animal stopped in its tracks. The 4-winged birds found a nearby perch, and landed quietly. Deer lay down. In the town of Dragon's Teeth, population now 266, they all lost consciousness. They lay sleeping. Comfortably, blissfully. The last thing Brianna Bithaway witnessed before she herself succumbed to blissful dreams was the man in green walking toward the record.